Hello there, you beautiful people. My name is Willow, and welcome back to Supreme Commander Forged Alliance for a Subpar Commander. Today we're looking at a 2v2 team matchmaker played on Syrtis Major FAF version. And before we get into introducing our players, I'd like to draw your attention to the buttons down below, the likes, dislikes, subscribe, and join button, all available for your clicking pleasure. Please feel free to click all of them or none of them, and have a wonderful day. Alright, let's go ahead and get into introducing our players with Team 1 in the top right, Team 2 in the bottom map. Starting with the yellow UEF, going first land by the name of Vanguard. And then over to the east of him, or southeast really, we have a red Cybern going first land by the name of Tetrasaurus. And then we're going to move on to Team 2. Down in the southern corner, the southwestern area, we have ourselves a blue Cybern going by the name of Super Weasel, starting first land. And his ally to the southeast, we have ourselves a demonetization name, a gray UEF going by Hank. We're just gonna say Hank, but you can see it on screen, and later I'll refer to it as the normal name whenever I don't think I'll get demonetized because I'm late enough in the video. So, Syrtis Major, we got three big choke points, one on the western side, one in the center with a quantum gateway that you can reclaim to get juicy mass, along with some other structures that provide decent mass value and some defenses, and then one on the eastern side. These players going to be fighting over these choke points and trying to get the upper hand on their opponents. Would also be surprised if we didn't see some major airplay, because these choke points make land aggression quite difficult. Early on, we already have a mech marine out from Vanguard. Gonna have to see if that leads to anything. Does anybody have a very early air factory? No, not as of yet. I don't see anybody going like second air to try and get that juicy first bomber out. In the center, there's the quantum gateway. Usually this map is decided by the players who do go for this. If one team does and the other team doesn't, usually going to be a short-winded game. Overall on reclaim, there's 21,000, and that does not include the quantum gateway or any of the structures in the middle. So there's a lot of reclaim, mostly scattered out in rocks worth 10 mass each, scattered throughout the entire beautiful map of Syrtis Major. I remember playing this map actually quite a long time ago. This map used to be played a lot as a team game map where you had more than 4 players on the map, but now it's in the team matchmaker pool for 2v2s, and you know, I kind of like it being there. It's a good map, and it's not too flashy, but it's not too shabby either. These players starting to move out, starting to expand, some players even getting scouts and labs up to certain choke points. There's 3 mexes on the western and eastern side with the choke points, as well as a raised area that we could see stuff like T2 artillery, point defense, making these chokes, especially the middle one, even harder to get through. So, gonna see what these players concoct for devices to hurt their opponents. Overall, these players not really sending their comms out aggressively. I guess the most aggressive comm right now is Tetrasaurus, who's running his comm straight to his kind of area with the mexes. I usually on this map opt for the comm in the middle. I think it's a pretty strong play there, and with these choke points, it's pretty easy to hold off a comm if you can get up some T1 PD, and if they get gun, then you should hopefully have T2 by that time and you can build some point defense of your own. But I guess he is a little bit worried about the possibility of artillery from these areas that are raised right next to where the players spawn, of killing off his mass extractors. Could be very bad. Over to the western side, we have a few more units showing up. The comm of Super Weasel and a healthy horde of Mantis over here. What's a group of Mantis called? Manti? Is it a murder of Mantis? I know it's a murder of crows, but over here there is only about 4 strikers, and that's not going to be super useful dealing with a comm and a bunch of Mantis. On the eastern side, Tetra over here with a comm, there's only a few mech marines and strikers, but more coming up to reinforce for Hank, and now we'll say his full name because we're almost 5 minutes in. It's Herpes Hank! Ooh! Yeah, don't want the monetization, so I think 5 minutes is late enough in the video. Strikers and Mantis going at it over here on the western side of the map. The Strikers are going to lose because there's just less of them, but they're going to take a few Mantis with them, which is an honorable little fight right here. We all know that Cybern are better than UEF, don't tell past me. And over there we go. Strikers all cleaned up. It seems as though a mass extractor was trying to be built by an engineer over here. Not gonna happen. And Vanguard gonna be pushed back quite a bit. Needs to be careful and probably wants to send his comm forward. Don't even know where his comm is. His comm is coming up to the northern side, but just gonna be here a little bit late. And this could lead to the death of a radar, 2 mexes, and an engineer trying to build a factory along with that building factory. That's going to be very upsetting for Vanguard. Going to lose his ability to continue fighting over here for a temporary amount of time. Of course, losing production's never good. T1 Bomber now out for Vanguard, trying to harass these Mantis, but these Mantis are going to complete their job. They're going to complete their objective of clearing out this attempted expansion. Radar down, and the rest soon to follow. Over here in the southeast, Tetra and Hank going at it. Oh, and I think that Tetra's making a mistake here. He's moved his Mantis in, but he's moved his comm back, which is not needed right here. He's just going to kind of lose all of his Mantis, but that's okay. He's still a Cybern comm. It looked like he was trying to get an upgrade, but no, in fact, he was just going for reclaim. Speaking of reclaim, Vanguard right now in the lead at 1,000 reclaim. Hank at 2, Vanguard in the lead at 2,000 reclaim. Hank at 1.1. Super Weasel at 896, and Tetra Sauce at 478. And overall economies showing that Tetrasaurus, not sauce, that's some tasty Tetra sauce, doing pretty well for themselves. Over here, these Mantis have finished cleaning up this outpost, and a bomber just got a beautiful bomb off. Holy hell, killed off like 5 Mantis with 1 bomb. Was absolutely crazy. As another Scorcher is out for Vanguard, trying to abuse this air advantage. I don't think anybody on Team 2... Oh, wait, never mind. Hank does have an air factory, but Vanguard definitely in the lead with the air play. Up to like 5 or 6 bombers right now. Could be very, very dangerous for the Southern team. Could start seeing enough bombers to take out T1 and T2 mexes if unabated. Is that the right wording? I don't know. I'm really, I just woke up, so sorry if I'm sounding a little bit weird or I'm loopy or don't say things correctly. Probably shouldn't record when I first wake up, but I have a docket of about 5 casts we're getting through today, so if you're happy with the increased number of casts, you should be able to put up with my loopiness. Over here on the eastern side, seems as though Tetrasaurus in a bit of trouble, as him and Hank were just kind of exchanging blows, standing there on a staring contest with plasma cannons. And now Tetrasaurus just has no units here, which is not good. And he's down to 4,000 HP as the Strikers roll over him in waves. It does seem as though we're going to have our first ejection here. And it does seem as though Tetrasaurus, while putting up a good fight and trying to be aggressive with the comm, it just did not pay off for him very well. And he's going to go down. He has the highest economy in the game, so that, or nope, the second highest. This is going to put Vanguard in a decent position. He's going to be slightly behind economically for just a tiny bit of time. But I think he'll be able to transition this pretty well. It does not seem as though Hank is going to be able to just get really aggressive with the common push. He doesn't have any upgrades, and he just lost 99% of his units, and also there's some units that Tetra started to build to get caught up here. So overall, not the worst position for Team 1. It always sucks to lose your teammate in 2v2 TMM, but you can always use that consolidated eco to do something really, really, really mean to the other team. Now then, Super Weasel has decided that the T1 bombers have annoyed him enough that he has gone full Sky Slammer, which means that his ground DPS is... It exists, but it's not pretty. He's missing a lot of rockets on these Strikers. His Mantis over here, on the other hand, getting a run-by past the entire tank line. There's still that Mech Marine from the very beginning. He's just sitting over here. He's like, it's... the Mech Marine is Mufasa, and the Scout is Simba, and he's like, anything the light touches is your kingdom. What about that shadowy bit over there? That belongs to the Cybran. Never go there. Okay. Welcome to Willow's recreation of the Lion King. Oh, Vanguard continuing to use his units pretty well. The Summoner Gate, or the Portal Quantum Gateway, the Summoner is a Cybern. The Portal Quantum Gateway in the middle here, going to be killed off by a single T1 artillery, who is at 5 vet with 1,230 mass killed. Kind of want to see how much mass killed it goes up to once it kills that. Over here, the fight with Super Weasel from Vanguard going okay. The Sky Slammer's making it look a little bit deceptive, but his units are going to run out very soon. Unfortunately, though, Super Weasel's calm is over here, and that's going to make things quite difficult for Vanguard, because Vanguard's going to lose all of his forces, as well as Super Weasel, but Super Weasel still has a calm over here. The 4230... 4,230 mass killed on this Lobo. Hero Lobo indeed. Let's just get a beautiful picture. Alright, there we go. And we'll also get the Lion King as a picture. Alright. There we go. Oh, no, I forgot. Messed up things. T1 bombers and such going on. On the southeastern side, I know we haven't really talked much about this since Super Tetra. Or not Super Tetra. Wow, I'm just combining all of their names. Tetra Sauce, calling Vanguard Tetra. Tetra, I want to play some Tetris. But down here on the southeastern side, it seems as though the pressure out from Herpes Hank has really just not provided anything of value to the southern team. Vanguard is continuing to try and press on Super Weasel, but it just seems like he's creating a very large mass field, already up to 5,000 mass. I don't think you're going to be able to push this comm off with T1 units, and I don't know if Vanguard agrees with me, but I do see that he's gotten up to T2 tech on his HQ. UEF HQ, not going for the Cybern T2 tech, which admittedly both of them have decent T2 armies and also have decent T3 armies, so not really like the choice is particularly devastating. Herpes Hank down, still at 9,000 HP from that earlier engagement, not really regenerating very quickly, but he is slowly getting up there in regeneration. Has built some T1AA to stop the T1 bomber harass. There's now some point defense being thrown up in the middle. Portal Gateway, 2,000 mass, just still kind of sitting here. He has engineers near it. A very, very beautiful template that unfortunately would be killed by one good tactical missile launcher. Could oh wait, I guess not. The buzzkill. You know what? I like this template. Everybody give Vanguard, go down in the comments and tell me what you think about this aesthetically pleasing template. Super Weasel still trying to push. These two side areas have just been so stagnant, and as I said, it's really, really difficult to push through these choke points. It just makes things way more difficult than you would think whenever you have to go through an area that is about 50 meters. Wait, I'm not European. About 50 yards wide, with tanks that are about, like, I don't know, 3 or 4 yards wide themselves. So yeah, it usually turns into this, where units are streaming at each other, and the units that are more blobbed up win. A run-by attempt out from Super Weasel is going to be shut down by the fact that there's a T1 PD and a comm there, so that's not going to work out very well. On the other side, Herpes Hank trying to push into Vanguard. He's not using the comm, but he is losing all of his units to the fact that there's a large group of Mantis over here. So right now, Vanguard really kind of living up to his name. He's just not going down to anything. The Hero Lobo is sitting on the edge. No, don't jump. Don't jump. You have so much to live for. You have so much to live for. Oh, okay, I'm gonna stop that. He just doesn't have the range. Okay. Over here on the northwestern side, seems as though Vanguard is starting to get a little bit of purchase with his units. He's making his way into this very forward production line out for Super Weasel. Neither side really putting engineers in these reclaim fields, and speaking of reclaim, as we get close to the 14-minute mark here, Vanguard's still doing the best, but overall reclaim is relatively even between the teams, only about 1,000 mass of reclaim separating the teams. Overall mass income 102 for Vanguard versus his opponents at 53 and 33, and if you are good at math as I am, you would know that 53 and 33 add up to like 86, and that's less than 104. So Vanguard officially in the economic lead. On the southeastern side, seems as though another push out from Herpes Hank is going to kind of fail, as yeah, I don't know, maybe it's not. Maybe it's not. Never mind, this push getting a little bit more purchase than I was giving it credit for. As pillars start pushing forward with Herpes Hank, he's going to start taking out these Mantis very quickly. Is there going to be a good response out from Vanguard? We will see. All of these questions and more to be answered in our near future. But overall, it seems as though the units out from Vanguard are starting to dissipate, and that Herpes Hank may be able to kill off one of these bases. Has Vanguard been too greedy? Has Vanguard spent too much of his economy on getting up new and better units? Now that there's anti-air in the mix, these T1 bombers aren't going to do much. T1 power grid being bombed by Herpes Hank as his pillars start to roll down the side of this cliff face, trying to get into the main production. But now T2 land has finished up for Vanguard, and by that I mean T2 Cybern land, and he's trying to get out some units. I would like to see like a Rhino or two get thrown out of here. Rhinos beat Strikers. Strikers' main benefit is that they are cheap. So gonna be difficult for, I think it's gonna be difficult for Herpes Hank to completely clear this out as long as Vanguard isn't in a horrible mass stall. Speaking of Vanguard and his comm, he's under attack by a large group of Mantis. He has some pillars over here to try and help him out. He has the gun upgrade on the comm. If he just continues to fire, he's gonna get a rank of veterancy. I don't think that these units are gonna be able to kill him off, so he is gonna get some vet off of this, but he's gonna lose a lot of HP, going down to 8,900 HP as he gets pushed back just a little bit more. This choke point been a constant tug of war, but the tug of war only lasts a very short distance. Neither player really gaining ground. The only area where things are looking bad for either side, or good for either side, is this eastern side, where Vanguard is just starting to lose this entire base, which is going to hurt his economy heavily. He's in a bit of danger now. I would be very worried if he does not come up with a solution to this very soon. He has a bunch of pillars now coming down. He needs to keep alive the T2 HQ. He wants to keep alive as many of the T2 mexes as he can. He even has a T3 mex over here that I didn't realize. And Herpes Hank has just made a huge mistake. He's gotten into the power grid, but Vanguard has T2 power. He doesn't need this. Oh no, what a disaster. This play that could have gotten Team 2 so far ahead has failed. If he went for the T3 mass extractor, that alone would have made this run by super worth, but if he went for the T2 HQ, he could have gotten even more as the pillars clean up the run by, or the main attack, I guess, of Hank. Things go back to normal, and now Vanguard sitting at 121 mass second versus 85 total for the other side. And it's starting to get to that point where it's like, well, I guess I'm gonna beat you over the head with my economy because my wallet is big and heavy, is what I imagine Vanguard sounds like right now. Because he has built this very beautiful, he has this on a template, this beautiful 2 triad, 1 buzzkill, 1 flak with walls around it. It's on a template, and he is very proud of it because he is spamming it in the middle with 2 Sparkies. And you know what? Hats off to you, sir. As the as this PD creep is surprisingly effective. Like, legit getting more done than I thought it would. They try and kill off the Sparkies with a bit of a attack out from Herpes Hank, but it was a half-assed attack, so it did not go very well. Over on the eastern side, where Herpes Hank now resides, he just doesn't have the units to fight off Vanguard. Vanguard's starting to really get his economy turned into units. Over here on the western side, where this massive reclaim field that nobody is interested in reclaiming it, is built. It's already up to like 10,000 plus mass. It's huge. I just feel bad, because if I could give Super Weasel some advice right now, it'd be set these 2 factories to build engineers and go for T3 land. That'd be my advice. Vanguard getting T2 on the comm now, but overall this fight just going poorly now for Super Weasel, and it just seems as though that now the T1 phase is over. Super Weasel and Hooper Hank, Super Weasel and Herpes Hank just having more and more struggles. The PD creep being put to an end by the units out from Herpes Hank. He's managing to get in here. The Triads having a bit of a disagreement with the ground. This is very unfortunate placement for the Triads. Oh, wow. I mean, I guess the pillars on the other side aren't really fighting, but 1 striker has enough DPS to kill any land unit in the game. Fun fact. So 1 striker and 1 pillar are going to eventually kill off this PD creeping kind of stuff, and that's going to be unfortunate for Vanguard. The hero Lobo is dead, but Mufasa and Simba are still having a very long conversation on the cliff, keeping you updated on the Lion King. I can't wait until we get to the point where they go to the Cybern graveyard. Over here on the western side, the T2 force out from Vanguard starting to push back against Super Weasel. Super Weasel brought up a bunch of T2 engineers to try and build a fire base, but I don't know if it's going to work because it seems as though there's just enough strikers here to beat him over the head. He needs to continue to build PD with these T2 engineers if he wants to keep them alive, but nope, he's decided that him and his engineers are going to go home and he's just going to throw out his toys and they're going to try and build up some PD a little bit further back, but are going to give up this forward productions facility that's been around for such a long time for Super Weasel. Overall economies, it seems as though the gap is staying about even. It's 141 versus 190 now, as T3 mexes go up for Vanguard. I'm assuming there's another one up by now. And nope, he hasn't even capped the one he has, so I think he's just forgotten economy exists, but that's okay, as his forces on the western side terrorize the countryside, going through it, burning everything in its wake, taking out the innocent mining operations. These poor coal miners and these mass extractors are going to be, or not coal miners, salt miners, and these mass extractors are going to be destroyed. A fun fact, in case you didn't know, this is just off the top of my head, I know I'm like a lore expert. All mass is actually just salt. It's the salty tears of pretty much every FAF player that's ever played. So that's how all of these things are built. We're building everything with salt, and yeah, in the year like 2899, we realized salt is stronger than diamonds, and more flexible and pliable. So like it's just better than diamonds. Janus now coming out to deal with the line of Cerberus that were built up by Super Weasel to try and stop the pillar pillaging. And yeah, the Janus gonna get a little bit of damage done. T2 air, of course, achieved by Vanguard for him to have Janus. There's T2 land finished up for pretty much everybody in the game, but ooh, that's a tactical missile snipe coming in. What's it going for? It's going for the shield. Oh no, we have like 4 tactical missiles now built up for Vanguard that I didn't really pay attention to, and they're coming in for the power grid of Super Weasel. Super Weasel gonna lose all of his power, and on top of that, he's built 4 tactical missile launchers, which means that the TMLs destroy any wreck they land on top of, but unfortunately they are going to, I think a few of them hit the terrain. Terrain disagreements in Vanguard are well and truly acquainted, but man, is he dealing some damage. T2 mexes, T2 pigeons, everything just failing for him. Including his own tactical missile launchers, which hit a cliff and I think actually ended up killing off a T1 unit. The Janus coming in. It seems as though this is the end. Super Weasel is collapsing. He doesn't seem to have a direction, doesn't seem to have a way to go. He's trying to build about 40 Gunthers, which I wonder why Gunthers was... Maybe he was trying to build TMD and he built Gunthers instead. Over on the eastern side with Herpes Hank, because Super Weasel is collapsing. Let's just check in on this very quick. Yeah, not too much going on. Seems as though a siege out from Vanguard with mobile missile launchers going well for him. He has mobile missile launchers over here. Herpes Hank control Ks and says KK. I think he meant GG. Unless... No, that was a tactical missile snipe, I think. Probably. Maybe they were both Control Ks? They both claimed Control K. I don't know. But with that, the game is over. I know this cast was a bit shorter than the ones I normally do, but I'm trying to get out more casts, so let me know what you think in the comments about the shorter cast. You all are beautiful. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.